fam, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little bit different than the videos that I usually post, only because today's video is super personal. For the most part, I like to be kind of private about my life and especially my personal life and what goes on in there, and that's just the way that I've always been. So part of that was me deciding if I should film this video or not. For the longest time I had the mindset that we shouldn't even make videos like this because it's really nobody's business. But I had an experience recently where a younger person that I love was terrified. I had already come out to my immediate family and to my immediate friends, but I never made an announcement of it because heterosexual people don't make an announcement that they're heterosexual. So I decided that this video unfortunately was necessary only because I feel like if I come out, it will give this person the strength to see that things are fine. They're gonna be fine. They might be really rough at first, but there's nothing better than living in your truth. And with that being said, if you are somebody young or old that's struggling with coming out, that's struggling with accepting your identity, then I hope that this story really resonates with you. And also, I just want to let you know that things are okay. And people who love me and support me and have been with me through this process also want to let you know that it's okay. So before I start with my coming out story, here's a little message for you.
El amor no juzga, no tiene etiquetas ni parámetros establecidos. El amor solo se da. Y qué mejor manera que empezar por ti mismo, amándote y aceptándote tal y como eres, demostrándole al mundo que no tiene nada que imponerte, apostando por tu felicidad, por quien tú eres, por el amor.
I just want you to know that you're not alone.
Everyone deserves to be happy.
Es que sean fuertes.
And it's okay to be yourself.
No se sientan solos.
Like Nike says, just do it.
Para adelante, para adelante.
You deserve to be loved and to love.
That there's endless love and support.
Tengan fe en sí mismo.
And just live your life.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, just know that there's a whole community of people out here that have gone through what you've gone through, that know your struggle, that still love you and accept you, and just know that things are gonna be okay, even if things seem really hard for you right now. So we love you, and with that being said, this is my coming out story.
From this day forward, I'ma ink my pen, watch it bleed from the tip on the paperback pad. 30 rhyme schemes on that hard green white, keep it on the blue lines.
So my coming out story was kind of forced in a sense. Kinda, I want to say. So I had gone my whole life basically with the fact that straight was the norm, and not only was it the norm, but it was the only thing that was acceptable. Because of that, I suppressed my sexuality for a really long time. And so for me, it was like, you like boys, and boys is what you're supposed to like, and that's it. To be anything else than heterosexual was, one, not even an option, and two, what would that even look like? Is that, if that even was the case, it was like unicorns, you've heard about them, but you knew that it was a myth, it was a legend, it wasn't something that you were allowed to be. But I mean, sooner or later, life kind of catches up with you. I ended up going to apply for this job after I graduated college, and this job required for you to go to some training. So it was 4 or 5 month training program that I had to go to. And in this training, I met this girl. Initially, we were really good friends. Somewhere along the lines, I'm not exactly when, but things changed. And I was no longer looking at her as just a friend. And this was completely terrifying for me because it was like, what's happening to me? What's going on? Why am I having these thoughts? Why am I seeing her in this different light? And so for me, it was really difficult to come to terms with the fact that I was seeing her as more than just a friend. So I tried to avoid her like the plague. I literally did everything that I could to stay away from her. She was really persistent, and it just didn't work. So I ended up dating her for about 2 years. But the whole time that I was dating her, I was keeping it a secret. My parents didn't know, my sister didn't know, and my sister's my best friend. She's more than my best friend. She's like one with me. But I knew that she would accept me because she's very accepting, and we had talked about this before. But I don't know why I didn't tell her. I think it was just because I was afraid to say it out loud, because saying it out loud would mean that I was admitting it to myself, and I had a really hard time with that. So we dated for almost 2 years, and this person ended up cheating on me, and it completely destroyed my whole life. So I fell into a really deep depression, and I couldn't work, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't do anything. And so my mom was super worried about me. She was super worried about my mental health and the state that I was in. She basically talked to me one day and was like, you need to let me know what's happening. Like, let me help you. I need to know what's going on. Because you just can't go on like this. Like, you're not in a good space mentally. It's not a safe place for you to be in, but like, let me help you. So I broke down and I was like, okay, Mom, like, this is what happened. For the past 2 years, I've been dating a girl, and she cheated on me, and I'm completely broken up about it. And so my coming out story is like really weird because of the way people reacted. So I mean, I'm not arrogant enough to think that what I'm about to tell you only happens to me. I'm sure that there's other people that it's happened to, but I've just never heard about it. So my mom was like, okay, but it's over now. Like, you're not gonna forgive her. Like, it's done, right? And I was like, yeah, like, it's for sure, like, it's done. I'm not going back to that. During this time, my mom was legit like a ride or die. That woman would, some days she would take off of work to come home and spend time with me. She would watch movies with me. She would talk to me, give me advice. She would do everything. Like, she went above and beyond. Well, about 40 days later, I went back to that. Just to give you a little preface, it was my first relationship ever. I've never had a relationship. I was 26 at the time. So for 26 years prior to that, I had been happily single, never had a relationship, never was interested really in anybody. So this wasn't just like me liking a girl for the first time. It was me having a relationship for the first time. And it was everything at once. I think this is when it really hit her. Because this time when I had told her that, she was kind of like in shock. Like, I thought that was just a phase. I thought that now that you guys had broken up, that you would kind of go back to who you were, and we wouldn't have to worry about this whole like you liking girls thing. My mom tried really hard, but for a few months she couldn't really talk to me, and I gave her space. I did what I could, but it was really hard. I thought that at one point I was gonna have to leave my house because I was living here at the time. I wasn't in New York yet. So for, I want to say about 3 months, my mom didn't talk to me. She couldn't really look at me. She was still kind of processing, because you have to understand that for your parents, they're gonna need time. Some parents might not. Some parents might need time to just kind of come to terms with it, especially if it's not something that was ever normal to them or was ever presented to them. Like it was to my parents. Like I said, I'm a first generation immigrant from a tight Latino household, and so it was something that my mom probably never thought she had to deal with. After that, it was kind of like a big thing. Don't tell your dad because this is gonna be really bad. And I knew that my dad had he was a very big conservative when it came to this specific topic. So I knew that my dad was not gonna take it well at all when I told him. But my mom had asked me not to tell him, so for a few more months I kept it a secret. My family's really, really close, so things hadn't been going so well, and I guess my dad obviously picked up on it because my mom wasn't really talking to me. Things were kind of like, we just weren't in a good space as a family. So he called a family meeting and he was like, what's going on with everybody? Like, what's happening? And my mom started crying and my sister was there, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm not gonna hang on to this any longer, so boom, I'm gay. There you go. And he was like, boom, I already knew, so what's really happening? Like, what's going on? And I was like, did you hear me? Like, I said I was gay. And he was like, yeah, okay, I already knew. So why is everybody so upset? Kind of attitude. And so I was just kind of like, what? So my dad actually took it really well. And he was fine with it. He's never like spoken to me negatively about it before. He was just kind of like, you're my daughter and I'm gonna love you either way. So I was super relieved after that. So you never know how people are gonna react. But to people who are watching and are family members of people who come out, just know, or friends, like just know that if somebody comes out to you, it's because they trust you enough. Like it's, I don't want to say it's an honor, but it's really special to that person that they've chosen you to tell if they're coming out. So just please be really kind about it. Please be open-minded and receptive about what the person has to say, because it's not easy for them to say it. So when I had told my friends, some of my friends were like really cool about it. They were just like, okay, cool, you know, whatever, like you still my dog, like that don't change nothing, like it's still all good. And when I say my friends, I'm talking about my closest friends. And some of my friends had a really hard time with it, mostly because they said that I should have told them sooner. But for people who are watching this that are not coming out, you can't really force a person to come out to tell you, because a lot of times it's an internal struggle that people have within themselves. So don't hold it against them if they took longer than you thought was necessary for them to tell you about their sexuality. So because of that, I lost a couple of friends, I lost a few friends. One of my friends stopped talking to me for about a month. Two of my other friends stopped talking to me for about a year. But they came back at the end of the day. They came back, and like I said, I gave them their space. I was like, I totally understand, because I had come from a very Christian background. I was a missionary at one point. I was going to different countries to spread the gospel, which has changed dramatically from then till now, because today I'm agnostic. But the people that I have that are really close to me, my friends and family, are ride or dies. They're seriously #1 supporters in anything that I do and anybody that I bring around. And today I can honestly say that I'm free from the boxes that people put you in, and I believe that sexuality is fluid and that there shouldn't be a certain box that you should be kept in for that. Because at the end of the day, if you love somebody, you love somebody, and that's that. And all this happened over a span of 4 years, which is how long my relationship lasted. I'm obviously single today. I'm not with that person anymore. Things just didn't work out. But yeah, today I know that like I'm free to be me and to talk to my friends and to talk to my family members freely, like any heterosexual person would talk to their friends or family. So like if we see somebody that's cute on TV, I can actually comment on it now. And I know that seems like something that's like so insignificant, but it's such a big deal, because it's just like even little moments like that that a lot of times people don't realize that they get taken away from you. Hold on. So yeah, so now like if I see a girl that's cute on TV, I can be like, oh, she cute, you know, and my mom can be like, no girl, like you got some fucked up taste, which has happened, but I think it's because you know, they have bad taste. But anyways, so just the freedom to be yourself and the freedom to be open, and the freedom that if I am in a relationship later on, that I don't have to hide it, and that I don't feel like there's a certain part of me that I can't share with everybody, and that I can't openly love this person, whoever she may be. So I think that in that sense, it's £1,000,000 lifted off of me. And I made this video because I'm going into 2019 being true to myself and being 100% comfortable in my skin and as myself. And it took such a long process for me to get here that I'm not ashamed of it. And I'm never gonna let anybody make me feel ashamed for who I am ever again. Neither should you. You should be happy. Everybody deserves to love themselves and to be loved. And that's point blank period. So this is my coming out story. This is who I am. I hope you guys will be a support system to those young or old who decide to come out. As always, thank you for watching my vlogs. Catch me next time for some more shenanigans. I post videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Until then, remember to keep adding color to your canvas. Be brave, be kind, y viva la vida. Bye!
Ooh, my stomach.
Yeah, write it down.
Buenos días. Para toda la gente que se sienta Amén.
Estás listo.
Buenos días. Para todos los... tienen...
It's okay.